Hi guys, Alan here, AFGolfStore. Today we're going to give you a little video on how to get the golf ball up in the air easier. Remember, if you like our videos, please subscribe and sign on the notifications so you get the updates every time we place a new video. So let's get into it. So, one of the big issues that many golfers face is a misstrike. So they may find they fat the golf ball or thin the golf ball, and quite often you see movements which are this action or lifting through the golf ball. Now, we can get into technique very, very quickly on how to strike the golf ball better, but one of the big issues that I see quite a lot is the sheer fact of the concept of getting the golf ball in the air. And if we change the concept and we change the intent and the action that's needed to get the golf ball in the air, sometimes the mechanics and the technique just naturally changes. So if I give you an example, if I ask a lot of the students when they fat or thin the golf ball, what are they trying to do? Quite often, the answer is, I'm trying to get underneath the golf ball. Now, that may be a little bit of an issue, mainly because the world sits below the golf ball. So the sheer intent of trying to get the club underneath the golf ball on the grass, remember we're not on a tee, is going to be incredibly difficult. So typically two things are going to happen. You're going to lift or scoop, just pure the sheer intent or the sheer action of trying to get underneath it. So all I would encourage you to do is to understand how the golf ball gets in the air. Now, when we swing a golf club, the golf club moves above our head in the backswing. So it's in the air, it's above the golf ball. So the direction that the club must travel throughout the motion of the swing is downward, right? So it must move down into impact. Now, the key to this is that once we get to the golf ball, we must keep the club moving, or the feeling or the intent, down towards the golf ball. Now I know that there's going to be loads of golf coaches in the world screaming at me saying that's not what technically happens, and I agree with you. However, from a golfer's standpoint on the golf course, on the driving range, what I want you to focus on is purely focusing on where the club should hit the ground. Now if we have the intent and the concept that the club must move downward through the golf ball and strike the ground after the golf ball, we've got much more chance of the club face striking the golf ball and popping the club up in the air. So rather than the intent being, let me help it up and lift the club up in the air, and lift the ball up in the air and try and scoop the ball, and you'll hear that clunky sound, what we're trying to do is make sure we strike the golf ball half an inch beyond the golf ball. So we're trying to strike the ground in that action. Now you'll notice two different distinct sound changes. So first bit for me, really, really simple. Just change what the intention is when you're trying to strike the golf ball. And for me, when you're trying to get an iron, a better quality iron strike, we want the intent to be striking the ground after the golf ball rather than before. Just have a go the next time you can get to the driving range and let us know in the comments below how you get on.